Coming up next on the bright side of nature photography, we answer the following questions. Why is this man eating a tree? What does this monkey really have on her mind? And why does this woman think she's in big, big trouble? It's all next. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I'm Jerry, and welcome to The Bright Side once again. Now, when last we met, Beth and I were in Tanzania going after, lions and elephants, cheetahs, bat-eared foxes, the whole 9 yards. This time around, we take you to Rwanda. But before we do that, as always, we check in with viewer mail to see what you, our faithful subscribers, are up to and what you want to talk about. All right, this one comes from Pumpsy Green of Bug Tussle, Alabama, who says, "Hey, pal, what gives? Been waiting for months to see your mountain gorillas, and I'm about to unsubscribe from your channel if I don't see them soon. You need to work harder and faster." Oh, okay, Pumpsy. Pumpsy? Really? What, was the name Schmucky already taken? All right, just keep your pants on, Pumpsy. We'll get to the gorillas shortly, but first, Rwanda. We got to get there, right? And so we left Tanzania, yes, in yet another Cessna. We crossed Lake Victoria and we landed in Rwanda. It's known as the land of 1,000 hills, but just for the record, I counted a lot more than 1,000. But that's not important right now. What is important is that's where we met the man who made things happen for us, Eric Ngabo. He's an excellent driver. But so much more than that, he's a terrific guide and a fabulous nature photographer. We rode with Eric to the town of Kinigi, where we checked into the Sambora Kinigi Lodge, which we highly recommend, by the way, and this is how we were greeted. By the way, I told Beth that's exactly how I want to be greeted when I get back to the house every day. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, later that day, we headed over to the Kinigi Women's Village. And that's where we met some very, very nice people, very talented artisans who also love to dance. But you got to understand that loving to dance and knowing how to dance are two entirely different things. So I felt like I had to step in. And I know what you're thinking. You're asking yourself, why didn't Jerry become a professional dancer? Yeah, I often ask myself that very question, but the truth is you can't do it all, folks. All right, moving on, and we're getting to the gorillas shortly, so just hang in there, Pumpsy, okay? But first, a little primate warm-up, if you will, with golden monkeys. So how did we find golden monkeys? Where were they? Well, the first order of business was to hike over some local farmland, and then, well, there they were, all over the place. And this was a great way to start with primates because golden monkeys are exactly like mountain gorillas. Yeah, they're a little smaller and they're a different color and they're a different species. But other than that, they're exactly like mountain gorillas. But one thing they do have in common with mountain gorillas is they just can't stop eating. Okay, so that was obviously a blast. And then later that afternoon, Eric said, why don't we go out and photograph some birds? I said, why not? So he took me out to the Twin Lakes, which are near the town of Musanze, and that's where we ran into this fella, the magnificent gray-crowned crane, actually the national bird of Uganda. Also, the bird that apparently holds the world record for aliases because, I shit you not, he's also known as the African crowned crane, golden crested crane, golden crowned crane, East African crane, East African crowned crane, African crane, Eastern crowned crane, Kavirondo crane, South African crane, and crested crane. But you know what? There's something really suspicious about anybody having that many different names. Makes me wonder just how well he knew Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, Pumpsy, guess what? Your time has come. It's time for Gorilla Trek number 1. I say number 1 because Beth and I wanted to make sure we didn't get boned on this trip, so we scheduled 2 Gorilla Treks. And that's because hanging out with gorillas has always been at the top of my bucket list ever since I knew what a bucket was. Early the next morning, we met our guide and porters and trackers and fellow hikers, and again we made our way across a farm on our way to the border of Volcanoes National Park. That's where, of course, the mountain gorillas hang out. And just before we got to the park, our guide stopped everybody to explain a few things to us. And let me tell you how lucky we were on this trip, folks. Our guide turned out to be the legendary Francois Bigiri-Rama. And if you've never heard of him, go ahead, Google the guy. He's a superstar on YouTube. This guy used to work with Diane Fossey some 40 plus years ago. So he stopped and showed us a couple of things like how to talk to the gorillas and how to eat like the gorillas.
Grow back on?
Yeah, the take off. When they grow they live in the forest, they're targeting these gum trees. They take off the bark and they get a soap from. That soap, yeah,
soap.
they do like this.
Really?
Same. No, for me, no. Tomorrow.
He's watching.
The best sitting. For sure, yeah.
And yeah, in case you were wondering, I did have a little taste myself, and to be honest, it's not half bad. Tastes a little bit like pine tree, if you want to know the truth. So anyway, that was one reason we felt so lucky. And the other reason was sometimes when you schedule these gorilla treks, it can take 2, 3+ hours to find the families, okay? But in our case, it took a grand total of 5 minutes. I'm not kidding. We got close to the park border, and then all of a sudden, And some of you may be wondering why we were all wearing masks when we got close to the gorillas. That's because there is a chance that humans can transmit disease to the mountain gorillas. And why is that? Well, here's a fun fact. Did you know that we humans share more than 98% of our DNA with mountain gorillas? It's true, but to be honest, I have a little issue with this. Just because nobody ever asked me if I wanted to share my DNA with anybody else. I understand that's just the way it is, but they could have asked. That's all I'm saying. It was rude. I know you understand. Okay, before we move on, I want to introduce you to somebody. I want you to say hi to Karuti. When Beth and I got back from Africa, we adopted Karuti. So, Karuti, say hi to the folks at home.
Hi, everybody. Great to see you. Hope you're enjoying the show.
I'm sure they are, Karuti. Okay, now it's time to get back to the real gorillas.
What do you mean, the real gorillas? I am a real gorilla.
No, actually, you're not a real gorilla.
What the what?
Baby gorillas. On the cuteness meter, they go to 11.
These go to 11.
So we spent an hour with that gorilla family, which is called Quitanda, by the way.
Not my family.
No, not your family. We understand. You are with us now. We are your family. And one of the things we learned about gorillas is that they love to eat bamboo. And why is that? That's because if they eat enough bamboo, they get a little head rush. They get a little dopey. It's almost like they're drunk.
Bon appetit, Francois.
Bon appetit, Francois. Bon appetit. Enjoy bamboo
You're
and
not supposed to
leaves.
drink on the job.
Are you gonna
Go on.
Is that your beer?
Yeah.
Oh, you are.
That's bamboo, and what's that?
Look at your plant.
Do I need to stay down?
You're too close.
Am I too close?
Camera.
Yeah,
Camera,
close.
okay, going off.
Oh my God.
So cute.
Bon
Oh my
appetit,
God.
Francois.
Whoa! I have been there, buddy boy. I've been there.
Yeah, we kind of figured that, Karuti. Now, listen, before we move on, got a big favor to ask, and that is please hit that subscribe button down there. It would mean the world to us. It really would. Both of us, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, now there's a confession I have to make, and that is at the end of Gorilla Trek number 1, I was a total pain in the ass. I know that's coming as a shock to you, but in doing my Google research, I found out that this is not only prime mountain gorilla territory, it's prime chameleon territory. So naturally, I had to torture our porters into finding me one. Okay, so was it worth the wait? Well, I happen to think it absolutely was. What do you think?
I think chameleons suck.
Hey, wait, hey, chameleons don't suck. Chameleons rock. Okay, on to Gorilla Trek number 2. And this one was a tad tougher. Instead of finding them in the first 5 minutes, we had to trek about an hour through some pretty gnarly jungle undergrowth. And you know, people are always asking me, are these gorillas dangerous? Well, I got 2 quick stories for you. Number 1, during the first gorilla trek that we did, oh, hi, Maggie. During the first gorilla trek that we did, 2 babies came up and grabbed my legs just to say hi. How cute is that? And then on gorilla trek number 2, I'm in the back of the line as we're making our way through the jungle and this narrow trail. And I heard a woman scream from up front. And it turns out that she was going a bit too slowly. And she didn't realize that a huge silverback gorilla had crept up behind her and wanted to get past her, but there's no room. So he picked her up by the waist, ever so gently, and delicately placed her over here about 3 feet away, and then went on his merry way. Now, she screamed at the top of her lungs. She might have pooped her pants, I don't know, but I guarantee she's going to tell that story for the rest of her life. All right, now let's meet that family, the Umubano family. Okay, now before we leave the Umubano family,
Also not my family, by the way.
yeah, I know, we know that, okay? But here's another fun fact for you. Did you know that mountain gorillas are highly intelligent, possessing remarkable problem-solving skills, emotional depth, and self-awareness? And you know what that means, Karuti?
What?
It means that Donald Trump can never become a mountain gorilla. Okay, now back to that bamboo thing. We heard earlier that some people believe that if Gorillas eat enough bamboo, they get drunk. Okay, but there are others who say it's not that, it's the sugar inside the bamboo that makes them kind of crazy. They'll eat all morning, and then eventually, you know what happens?
Boy, do I ever.
And if that looks familiar, don't forget, humans share more than 98% of their DNA with mountain gorillas. And now I know exactly what you're thinking. You're thinking, what? No more chameleons? So we're close to the end of this epic adventure, but I want to jam in one more thing. On our way to the airport for the long flight back to the US, Eric, remember Eric, guide, bird photographer, suggested that we stop by a local park and see what we could see, and that was a great idea. All right, Karuti, it's almost time to say goodbye. But I want to say one more thing before we leave. If you're interested in doing something like this, get in touch with our friend Greg at Sambora Private Journeys. Tell him Jerry and Beth sent you. And while you're there, stop in and see our friends Karen and Bill at Virunga Mountain Spirits. It's fun for the entire family, especially mom and dad. That's right. And most importantly, visit the Ellen DeGeneres campus of the Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund. Learn everything about saving the gorillas. And by the way, you should give them a lot of money. Okay, so Karuti and I are out of here, and I really hope this made Pumpsy happy.
Hey, what the hell kind of a name is Pumpsy anyway?
Karuti, I have no freaking idea.